It's been an active season in the tropics, but only in a few certain areas, and obviously those areas not Florida, and most of the storms have been weak. Is that about to change? I'm Jeff Huffman with an update on the rest of our season. Going to give you some insight on that, but also something we're tracking in the next few days in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's been the Gulf and the Western Caribbean, at least the southern Gulf, that has been active. But I would say it's been the timing and location of these storms that's really given us the perception that they haven't, really amounted to much. And they really haven't, because they've slammed into land areas and or been in environments that were not favorable for strengthening. We've also had a few storms out to sea, way out to sea, and it's because of that, the interaction with the dry air and the warm air aloft, they've had trouble moving across the big pond. One of the reasons why is there's been a slight displacement to the East Coast trough and the Bermuda High. It's been a little further to the east. Now that's going to be realigning itself over the coming days, and that makes the Gulf and the Caribbean areas we have to watch again, which is something not unusual actually. In October, similar to these areas flaring up at the beginning of the season, they usually flare up at the end of the season as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for some sneaky storms in the Gulf or the Caribbean, especially the ones that can form in between or ahead of cold fronts. Because when fronts come in here in the south and east, they usually pick these systems up and carry them out to sea, and they can be a big roadblock for landfalling storms. So we're going to watch the Gulf and the Caribbean closely, and it just so happens we have an area that we're keeping a close eye on. Hurricane Center says Invest 95L has a high chance for developing once it moves into the southern Gulf on Friday. And this one could move a little further to the north than its predecessors, so it has a potential to impact the U.S. And even if it doesn't, it could bring us some heavy rain because it's going to team up with a cold front. There's your first look at the model lines, and they're definitely starting to trend a little more northward with time. Here's your future track built largely off the American model. Look at all that moisture in the Gulf of Mexico. And as you see the cold front arriving Friday and Saturday, it's projecting that all that moisture gets pulled north and east right across the state of Florida. This is just one of the models that we're watching. If this comes true, though, we don't really have to worry about a strong tropical storm because there's a lot of wind shear and it would likely get sheared apart. That's one possible and probable solution to this scenario. I'm going to show you two different options here. This is the scenario number one, the one that I think is more likely to happen. This system gets sheared out with the front. We get some heavy rain Sunday or Monday. We'll watch that closely. But there is another scenario I'm keeping my eye on, and that's if the front is a little faster and a little weaker. It leaves the system behind. Yes, we get the rain with the front, but we would still have to worry about a tropical system strengthening in the Gulf of Mexico if scenario 2 plays out. We're going to keep a close eye on this. Right now, the National Weather Service and our forecast includes heavy rain. This is your 7-day rain tracker, and notice these amounts on the legend here, 2, 3, 4 inches. A lot of this occurring once again Sunday and Monday. Keep it right here for constant updates on the tropics.